Today we're building a 50-ton lifting eye. It is the largest we have built in 60 years, and I'm going to show you how we do it. G'day guys, Matt from HAL Heavy Duty. We're a machine shop that specialises in the drilling industry, and today we have to make a lifting eye for the MEGADRILL. This thing weighs 20 tons. It's out in the field at the moment where they are drilling away, and this is an eye that will get screwed into the top of it so that it can be easily lifted in and out of the hole. We have chosen to make this out of a solid piece of steel for maximum lifting strength because we're going for the 50-ton mark. A simple drawing was sent to the engineers who have then fully drawn it up, run the simulations and tests on it, and it will hit 50 ton. So our job now is to, in a day and a half or less, because that's when they're coming to pick this thing up, we have to machine it, mill it, finish it, mark it out and get it ready to be sent off out to site where no doubt Robbo will maul the hell out of it. Now the piece of steel I had ordered for this is sitting somewhere in a warehouse sunk in Brisbane due to the flooding and the cyclones. So I have to take a slightly longer piece of steel and cut it down to size. I really do not like cutting billets over the size of 200 mil in our saw because it tends to cut not particularly straight towards the end when you're doing larger billets. We've tried fixing it. We're actually got a new saw on the way, but let's just see how this thing cuts. Well, it cut great. That is going to take a lot of facing cuts. I probably should have just got the engineers to change the drawing and then rerun the simulation, but I didn't think it would cut that bad. Now that it has, let's get in and face it. Well, in its final week of operation, our saw is going to get a medal for being the dodgiest cut in history. I'm going to face this off using a WNMG insert with a .08 nose radius. Oh, look at that. That's just wild. I'm going to visually figure out where the end of the billet will be and write the program to suit that. You can see there I'm just going, right, that's pretty much how far I've got to face, and it works out being 23 mil, which is insane. I would have been better off calling the engineers, but anyway, can't fix that. Just going to write a short program for it. I'm not going to talk you through it, but you can just watch. We do most of our programming in the shop using either G-code or conversational FANUC input. It just seems to be quick enough to do what we want to do, because once we've got a program, it's in there forever, so it doesn't take that long to do, and it's easy for me to train people too. So yeah, let's get in and do it. You saw that too, right? The interrupted cut had led the top of the clamp actually come a little bit loose. Either that or I hadn't done it up properly, but I'm usually pretty good. Yeah, just quickly pause the lathe, retighten it, it was fine and it continued on, but when I was filming that, like, oh, oops. Anyway, let's keep going. That's Vader. Murray, come here, buddy. Murray, look at you, you wet dog. Oh, yucky. Oh, all right. Oh, Murray, buddy, buddy, buddy. I am going to put a fresh new insert in here because we are going to absolutely hook in with this because I've got to take off a lot of material. This is the lifting eye end. I did want to try my new Kennametal Fix 8 tool, but I honestly just don't have time to set it up and I haven't used it before, so I don't want to do it on a rush job, but that will be for a future video. Anyway, 4mm depth of cut, and we're going to hook right into this. The chips are going to fly. And not facing that billet completely, trying to speed things up, has just led it to being an interrupted cut for the first 2 or 3 mil as that tool enters the cut. I should have just let it face off. Anyway, let's carry on. So because this is such a rush job, it's going to have myself, Heath and Willie working on this. Heath and Willie will be working together. Willie is in the first year of his apprenticeship but does an amazing job. He just is such a focused worker. It is refreshing to have someone young who's not on their phone all the time. I've never ever caught Willie on his phone once. So buddy, if you're watching this, you do an awesome job and we love having you in the shed.
Another one?
Rat. Yeah, so we've never put a billet that big into the mill before, and the distance between the two T-slots is 300 mil. I know that now. I think I remember it from when we designed those blocks up. By the way, they came from Curtis at Cutting Edge Engineering. I got the idea from watching his videos, so again, shout out buddy, those things are great. We use them constantly, and having the little top hats to actually lock it down as well, magic. But it just wasn't quite big enough, so I've had to throw it back into the CNC, take the diameter from 320 down to 300 so that we can pop it back into the mill, securely clamp it down, and then get hogging out. While they're milling that out, I'm just going to quickly de-swarf the CNC. All of these chips, thankfully, get recycled. We have a pretty good relationship with the recycler considering the amount of volume we send to them. To blast the hell out of it. We're using a 3-tooth 50mm cutter and climb cutting to do this. Less vibration. I'll show you in a little bit what happens if you try to go the other way, conventionally cutting it. This particular cutter, we can take 5mm depth of cut, although it has quite a long shank. So we're going to be using the 3-tooth 50mm cutter to do most of the work, and then we're going to use a button tool to get in there and do the radius, which is important for the lifting strength. Anyway, let's crack on. Zeroed without marking it, eh? Good job.
Going on too much? No, no.
Go a little bit more here.
A little bit more?
You hear that? Conventional cut. Climb cut doesn't do that. Try it again. Yeah? Perfect. That's it. Reminds me of those machines in Las Vegas, eh? Loves it. It's quicker. Special delivery. Back she goes. That looks bloody great. going to be drilling this out first with a 3-inch or a 78mm U-drill because it's a blind hole, and then I'm going to go in with Kong, which is a KM63 headed bar with a CNMG insert. I'm going to take a 4mm depth of cut and just plow into it as hard as I can, and with the U-drill I'm going to go as far as I can until the chips stop coming out, and then I'm going to manually stop it and then pull it out just to see how far I can get in, because I want to take as much as I can out of the center here. It's pretty funny. In one lathe, I'm building the largest lifting eye we've made in 60 years. And in the other one, we're actually making the smallest crossover sub I think I've ever made. It's got an unknown thread that's about 2 inches in diameter. We do smaller stuff like BSP, but yeah, this is the smallest one we've ever made, just for size comparison. Can't get anything done around here. Lovely. Special delivery. That's perfect. Thanks, Willie. Done. Well, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Both Heath and Willie did a fantastic job as well, and considering Willie is a first-year apprentice, just really starting, he just does such a fantastic job. So, buddy, if you're watching this, we appreciate having you in the shed, and you do an awesome job. He is really quick on that mill. Like, although it's a manual mill, once you sort of start to become one with the machine and the controls, you can blast some material out really quick in Godzilla. We do need to get a CNC mill at some point. It's just selecting the correct one is the challenge. So I don't know if you've had any experience with heavy duty CNC mills. Let me know some suggestions in the comments, because we are in the process of looking. A couple of things I could have done better. I always ask myself, what worked, what didn't, what could I do better? I definitely should have just asked the engineers, hey, could we make it 50 mil longer? Could you run the simulation and redraw that? Probably would have been quicker than what I did with the facing, but in a rush job, it's like you just want to get it done. So I was hoping that the saw would cut better than it did. It was as straight as a question mark. But that I would have changed. Just double checking things like tool holders and that the inserts are fastened in properly. I was pretty sure that they were. I don't ever leave anything loose, but you want to make sure that that's done. So I could have done that better. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how that all turned out. That will go out to site now. It will be single purpose use simply for that, and hopefully I don't have to make another one again anytime soon. But yeah, the original piece of steel will probably rock up next week sometime once Brisbane has dried out, which is great. I don't know what I'll use that for, but it'll be something. Guys, that's it from me. I just want to say to everyone who likes these videos, who's subscribed, who's commented on them, guys, I appreciate you. Machining can be a little bit of a lonely profession. Like, I spend a lot of my time in front of that machine, and I do read every single one of your comments. I try to respond to all of them. I think I have. And it adds a little bit of joy to my week. We're actually a man down at the moment. So we've got one staff member away, and we've got a new person starting in April. So between now and then, videos might be fortnightly. It just depends on the workload is pouring in, and there's only three of us in here at the moment. So it's pretty wild times. Last week, Teddy had an absolute whale of a time. He and I just hung out. My little son Teddy's 1.5 years old, and he gets to come in here usually on a Sunday with me and just play with everything. There's no one around, everything's locked out, and he just has a whale of a time. But it was lovely to just get to spend a week with him as he's developing and starting to learn new words, and he's getting very no. Kids are so much fun. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. I'll catch you in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. That's your favourite one, mate? No, the power's not on, buddy. Oh, a knurling tool. Knurling? Got the big, almost reached the shifter, mate. Little way to go for the pedals. Good job, mate. We go? Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Let's go, boys. In you get, mate. Murray, let him in. Go on, in you get, buddy. Murray? Murray. All right, mate, we better go. Nope. We better go. Nope.